Hello to everybody in Maryland's beautiful 8th Congressional District. It's your congressman coming to you this Friday, June the 7th. It's National Immigrant Heritage Month, and we're going to recognize some people who have made their way to Maryland and to our shores from foreign lands. Our local hero this week, my favorite time of the week, is Sam Alemayehu, who is the co-founder and general partner of C1 Ventures. He is a sensational entrepreneurial businessman and success in the commercial world. He is doing extraordinary work on carbon neutral and carbon negative development and invention and creation that you're going to hear about. But he's also very much engaged in the community as a volunteer and an activist and someone who works with young people. He got over to America when he was 13 years old and did not speak English when he got here. His family emigrated from Ethiopia and they made it to Prince George's County. He graduated from High Point High School in Prince George's County. He went on to go to college at Stanford. He's a graduate of the Stanford University School of Engineering. And he is an active angel investor globally. He sits on the board of numerous companies and numerous not-for-profit groups, including the Ron Brown Scholars Program, VC Include, and what I want to talk to him about partly today, the Kid Museum. And he is the World Economic Forum Young Global Leader and Technology Pioneer. He's done some really fascinating stuff in the business sector and the nonprofit sector. Please welcome and get to know our local hero, Sam Alemayehu. Hello, Sam. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Congressman. It's such an honor to be here with you.
We're delighted to make you our local hero. Why don't we start with a little bit your childhood and your family's journey to the United States and what it was like getting here, not speaking the language at all, and finding your way around.
Thank you. So I grew up in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. My dad was a congressman, a parliament member in Ethiopia, and he immigrated to the U.S. as a political refugee when things were challenging for him. We followed him as a derivative asylee. And it was an incredible experience coming in. For me, kind of the first time I came here, it is just awestruck by a whole lot of the experience and the opportunities. I was a public school student when I was in Ethiopia. Coming into the PG County school system, I was received with open arms by incredible teachers. And of course, parents that emphasized education above all else, taking incredible risk. My mom, who was a teacher, became a parking lot attendant here in the US. My dad was a parliament member, as I said, became a taxi driver. But for them, it was a sacrifice that they were making to really make sure that their kids could have a better life and an opportunity in this incredible land. And for me, I was incredibly fortunate to have the teachers, community members, to really feel the ambition. And
well, the story I heard about you that in high school, as you were just trying to learn English, you basically hunted down all of your teachers and you said that you wanted to take every opportunity that was available to you to learn because you were so excited about being in America and being in high school in Prince George's County.
That's absolutely right. I had this ambition of really trying to get the best education and opportunity. And the only bottleneck for me at the time was my language barrier and other aspects, and reached out to all my teachers. This is what I want to accomplish. Because I learned about MIT from my father's passenger in the back of his car. And that's a school that I wanted to go to. And I had met somebody that was doing their PhD there. And I reached out to my teachers, and they were there. All you have to do is ask. They were spending time after school. These are teachers I still keep in touch with that did not laugh at me, that did not say, oh, you can't do that, or nobody from our school went there. They're like, yes, you could do it. You put the time. I will do extra hours. I will come in after school.
So wait, did you end
Yeah.
up going to MIT as an undergraduate?
No, I ended up going to Stanford, and
Stanford.
that's one of those things. Like I always talked about MIT until the very end. Then I did a summer program at Stanford, and I say I prefer the weather there, and
Yeah.
it actually fit into this entrepreneurial bug that I had. It was a great place.
Yeah. California exerts a draw on the young people, but we're so thrilled you came back. You're living in Montgomery County now, right?
That's correct.
All right. So now look, we've got to shift over to talk about business and C1 Ventures. As I understand it, you have figured out some ways basically to convert waste and trash and garbage into energy. And you've spent a lot of time in Africa. You've gone back to Africa to develop some of these new industries and technologies. Can you explain to people in just a minute or two, or at least a few minutes, what it is you've put together? Because it sounds pretty astonishing.
Thank you. Absolutely. So for me, like my own identity became this bridge between this incredible country, the US, whom I'm a US citizen, and then the knowledge I have of the African continent, and it's taking technologies that we've developed here and it's adapting it for the African continent. And we've built the first waste to energy facility in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. It's a facility that takes in over 1.5 million kilograms of waste every single day and generates over 20% of the household level electricity, but also has developed over time. We developed lots of additional technologies to use waste to generate and grow insects that grow 200 times their weight within 10 days. We're able to then convert that into protein, that is chicken feed, fish feed, not having to compete with soy, human food for those type of animal consumption, to create fertilizers, to recycle batteries within one single facility. We went on to do similar projects in places like Kinshasa and in other parts of the world. And that's what we have done, is to be able to marshal advances in technologies and find the locations that were being overwhelmed by garbage and to create a solution that meets the strictest environmental requirements that was adapted out of the EU and deliver jobs, dignity, and most importantly, converting something that has been a problem into a treasure. So waste to value. And that's a company that I started around 2012 and went on to build large scale facilities with the company.
And Sam, when you were growing up, you used to see some of these mountains of garbage where there were just whole plots of land that were dumping grounds for garbage. And that was when you first began to think about how to remove that visual and environmental blight and danger and convert it into something positive. Is that right?
Absolutely. And for me, it's something that I've grown up with seeing, hated it, and always ask myself, is there something that could be done? And the more you learn, the more kind of you grow, you start to see, wow, it's transformation. And it applies in all of our lives. You see something, you could see what it could become. There are other countries that had developed waste to energy projects, that have developed very sustainable ways of converting garbage into something of value. But we also needed to create something that was unique to the type of waste that was in the African continent. So for me, it was something that I've always wanted to go back and implement, and also apply the technologies that I've learned when I was at Stanford, as well as bring in other technologies from around the world to collaborate with me to start adapting even novel ways of converting waste into something of value, energy,
Yep.
nutrients, and many other
Well,
values.
I mean, it's an extraordinary environmental success story. It's an extraordinary business success story, and it's an extraordinary immigrant success story. So it's a very uplifting tale for us. You have not been content just to go out and to be this fantastic, business venture success, but you've always repaid energy and time and love to the community Tell us about what you've been working on with Kid Museum and why that particular project is so important to you. I met you the other day over at this wonderful event that Kid Museum did.
So Kid Museum is this incredible organization located right here in Maryland in Montgomery County and reaching out to students and families in the greater Washington, D.C. area. And it's a place where kids can be makers. It's one of the largest maker centers anywhere in the world for K through 12 students. And for me, it embodies how my life transformed. It's the ability to do things, to learn. I'm a very visual learner. The more you do, the way you work, you start to really have the love of learning be instilled in you. And I first walked into Kid Museum about 7 years ago, trying to find something for my daughter. And it was in the basement of the library at Davis Library on Democracy Boulevard. And I was blown away by what Kara and the whole team have been doing, where they have been trying to create this incredible space, as well as the curriculum that goes in it, so that kids can be makers, can be scientists, they can visualize themselves, not as just consumers, but individuals that create stuff. So for me, my life has been successful because of the support of community members, strangers that knew nothing. They have no reason to support me. And they made a transformational change in my life. So for me, it's not a question of like, it's always about a how. It's not when or if, like it's a how can I get involved? How can I find my passion? And these are the type of things that find the next generation of makers, because we have.
And Sam, you just referred to Kara being Kara Lesser, the visionary and the founder behind Kid Museum. And I met you over at their annual event, which was so extraordinary. And Sam was the keynote speaker there. And you talked about both science as a transformational process for young people turning ideas into processes and things that they can share with the world that can change the world, and how the process of being a maker transforms your own life at the same time. And it was such a beautiful metaphor and analogy that you made. And I know it was very moving to the families who assembled there.
Absolutely. And we always talk about Carl Lesser and the whole team, this mind of a maker. And we always have the steps. You first imagine it. If you could imagine it, if you imagine what it could become, what it could transform into, if you could imagine how you're going to do it, then go ahead and make it. And the whole world will conspire to support you and then share it, reiterate, and redo it all over again. And that's what it does. It empowers kids to have the toolkits that they need to say to anything that it's possible. I can do it and I'm going to make it.
Well, Sam, we're going to link to some other information so people can find out more about your extraordinary cutting-edge technologies and innovations that are reimagining large-scale industrial processes and waste management to make them part of the environmental solution and deep decarbonization, which is obviously what we need. For everything you do in the business sector, the not-for-profit sector, the educational sector, and inspiring our people, you're our local hero this week. And I hope that everybody will crowd out your email and your phone calls and your text congratulating you for all the magnificent things you do. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so much, Congressman. Really appreciate it. And we appreciate you for the amazing advocacy and work that you do on behalf of this community. Thank you.
Thank you, dear man.